Hi, my name's Rob, and I play guitar in a minor air, and these videos are going to be aimed at the beginning guitar player, or maybe someone who played guitar for a little while, stopped, and is now picking it back up again. We're going to be going over basic technique and basic musicianship skills that you need to hopefully sound as good as you can as early as possible, because obviously that's kind of the goal. We're going to be going over just the basic parts, labeling, and numbering of things on the acoustic guitar, which I have here, and then we're going to do electric guitar in a second. We'll also talk a little bit about tuning and give you some tips for that as well. So, let's dig right in. Alright, let's do the parts of the acoustic guitar. We're going to do the electric guitar in just a second. Got two main parts. We've got the body of the guitar and then the neck of the guitar. On the body of your guitar, made up of three main pieces of wood. This piece, which is called the top, one piece that runs around the sides, so it's called the side, and then one in the back. And that makes up the body of the acoustic guitar. On the top, we've got the bridge. And on the bridge, we've got bridge pins that hold our strings in place, and the strings ride over what we call the saddle, which is this kind of cream-colored piece on my guitar. Strings run down the saddle, down the neck, through the nut, and then onto our tuners, which are at the headstock of our guitar. Now, there's a bunch of different tunings you could have your guitar in. You could have it in an altered tuning, or a drop tuning, or an open tuning. In this case, all of these videos are going to be in what we call standard tuning. So standard tuning is the notes E, B, G, D, A, and E. So that's what we call standard tuning. And it's kind of the best of both worlds. It's a way of kind of compromising so that you can have certain types of chords and still play lead guitar, whereas some tunings are sort of advantageous for one way or another. But standard is the most common, so that's why we're going to start there. On the neck of your guitar, you've got pieces of metal that have been hammered in there and filed, and those are going to make up the frets. And when I say fret, I really mean the space on the guitar. The pieces of metal we call fret, those are the fret wires. But when you say find, let's say, 5th fret, we mean, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we mean 5th space on the guitar. So we've got these sort of grids of dots and then blanks. But I don't want you to think of the dots and the blank spaces as maybe the same as like a keyboard, where we've got white keys and black keys. They're not the same. You don't want to think of it in those kind of terms. They're just physical landmarks, so that if you are standing up and playing your guitar and look down, you can see the dots and know where you're at, so that you can find that fret number. So you want to actually drill and get used to moving up and down the length of the neck, finding a specific fret. Maybe 6th fret or 8th fret. So for the most part, most guitars, the first dot falls on 3, maybe yours does, maybe yours doesn't, maybe you have 1 at 1st fret, but for the most part, most guitars, it's fret 3, 5, 7, 9, and then 12. Now 12 is important and gets 2 dots because you can think of it as an imaginary boundary between the lower section of the neck and then just an exact copy where things repeat and start over again. So once again, 3, 5, 7, 9, and then 12, and then this dot all the way up here you can think of as exactly the same as fret 3 down here. So if I just play the note, this is a G, and if I play up here, it's a G as well. It's just sounding what we call an octave higher. Don't have to worry about the jargon or the terms or anything. Now that's the basic components or parts of an acoustic guitar, when we're going to do parts of electric guitar next. Okay, parts of the electric guitar now. We've got the body of the guitar and the neck and the headstock, just the same as an acoustic, but the big difference between an acoustic and electric are the pickups that we have on the guitar. So my guitar is a Gibson Les Paul, so I have 2 different pickups on my guitar. I have the neck pickup, which is a humbucker pickup, and then the bridge pickup, which is a bridge humbucker pickup. It's called a humbucker because if you have 2 of these coils put together, it cancels hum, so thus the name. So you got the neck and the bridge. Could have a pickup in the middle, like a Fender Strat normally has one in the middle. But in this case, just 2 pickups. I've got a pickup selector switch, which just lets me pick which pickup I'm on. Les Pauls are normally 3-way switches, so all the way up, I'm on the neck. In the middle, I'm on both. All the way down, I'm on the bridge. If you've got a 5-way switch, like on a lot of Ibanez guitars or on like a Fender Strat, All the way up is the same thing. If you click down just one click, you'd be on the both the neck and the middle. One more into your middle sort of setting on a Strat would be just the middle. Down that one more click, you'd be middle and bridge, and then all the way down would just be the bridge. What's kind of cool about a Les Paul is we've got bridge volume, and then neck volume, and then bridge tone and neck tone. Now, that means you've got sort of dedicated knobs for those, which is kind of neat. It means you can have like a specific setting set to that pickup, and then when you click over to it, you've got that specific sound kind of ready to go. Now, the tone knob for me, for the longest time when I first started playing guitar, there's these guys right here. So this is the bridge tone, or bridge tone and then neck tone, were kind of a mystery for a really long time, and I didn't know how they were used. And the best way I think of kind of describing it is you could think of it as like an attack control. So if you feel like your guitar is a little too bright, a little too harsh, you can roll that back a little, or if you want your guitar to sound almost underwater, you can turn it all the way back. So if I just kind of demonstrate that, if I play like just a G chord, that's the bridge pickup on my guitar. If I turn it back just a little, it's a little bit duller, a little bit darker. Maybe if I play some single notes. If I turn it all the way back, it's like underwater. Turn it all the way back up. So that's the basic controls on your electric guitar. Try to remember everything on your guitar is very 1950s, 1960s kind of technology. It's not all digital like an iPod or something like that. In other words, what I mean by that is as you roll your volume knob or tone knobs back or up, you know, although they're numbered, it's not like digital little increments. You really have to trust your ears and try to remember that as you manipulate, especially the volume and tone knobs, you're adding physical resistance to your electrical signal coming out of your guitar, and that means there are certain tones you can only really get through experimentation. So those are the basic parts and components of the guitar. The only one thing that I didn't go over is the strings that are numbered, and then actually two things, and then our fingers, our body itself. So on our guitar, when you look down as the guitar sits on your lap, the string that we call number 1, our E string, is the farthest one away. So that one, the thinnest one, is going to be string number 1, and then from there they just go backwards. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. So same way that you might want to actually drill and quiz yourself on the fret numbers on your guitar. In other words, being able to find, let's say, 6th fret quickly, or 9th fret quickly, or 2nd fret quickly, whatever it is, you might actually have to quiz yourself on that. Remember, you want to use the dots to help you move up and down the neck of your guitar. Same thing with the strings. Maybe just find 2nd string or 5th string or whatever it is, you know, kind of skip around. So remember, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Our fingers are going to be numbered. 1 is index finger, 2 is middle, ring is going to be your 3rd, and then pinky is 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So hopefully I didn't go too fast. Feel free to watch the video again, or if you're bored, just skip ahead and we're going to start digging into the next one. If you liked the video, remember to hit like and subscribe to our page. Tell your other beginning guitar friends, if you like the approach that we're doing here. And also, always feel free to stop by and check out the original music that's on our page as well.